Welcome to Specialized High School Admission Test Prep Online Lesson Series Mathematics Lesson 2. Before you start, make sure that you have a notebook and a pen so you could write some important information from the video that will help you to prepare for your Specialized High School Admission Test. And as always, pause the video and try to practice by yourself. Make sure that you understand every single concept. So, and then download this application called SHSAT Test Prep and practice lesson 2. It has a homework. Make sure that you do the homework at least a few times and then take a practice test to make sure that you get 80% or higher. So let's get started. In this lesson, we'll learn how to find equivalent fractions, how to find reciprocal of a fraction or a number, comparing fraction, addition, subtraction of fractions, multiplication and division of fractions. So let's do it. The first thing we'll learn how to simplify a fraction. So you could see here, this is a fraction. We have 36 with 64. So this is the thing you need to do. If you want to simplify the fraction, try to find the biggest number. You could try any number you want to make sure that you could divide it top and bottom by the same number. So in that case, if you divided 36 by 4 and 64 by 4, so that gives you 9/16. So that is the least. You cannot go beyond that. You cannot simplify more than 9/16. So make sure that you understand. So there is another one is called write 3 equivalent fractions. So how to write equivalent fraction? If you want to find equivalent fraction, you could either multiply by top and bottom by the same number, or you could divide top and bottom by the same number. So 3/7. So you could see here I multiplied top and bottom by 2. So that gives you 3 times 2 is 6, 7 times 2 is 14. Same way, 3 times 3 is 9, 3 times 7 is 21. Then multiply by 4, 3 times 4 is 12, 7 times 4 is 28. So that's how you need to write equivalent fraction. So if you either could divide it or you could multiply by the same number with top and bottom. Next thing we'll learn how to find the reciprocal of a number. So if you have a mixed number, if you want to make the reciprocal, what you have to do, you have to first make this mixed number into improper fraction, and then you have to flip it. So you could see here 3 and 5/7. If you make this mixed number into improper fraction, 3 times 7 is 21 plus 5 is 26/7. So if you want to find the reciprocal of that, you have to just flip it. Now, what is the reciprocal of 0.6? How to do it? You can do different way if you want. Okay. So the reciprocal means you have to find the number with the flipping. So 0.6 underneath of that 1, you could write 1. So then you could write 1/0.6, and if you divide that, you will get 1.6 repeated number. So that is the reciprocal of 0.6 is 1.6 repeated numbers, right? So the next thing we'll learn some practice problem. Pause the video and try to do by yourself. Make sure that you get this answer. As always, just pause the video and try to learn by yourself. It will really help you. So just don't do the problem. Make sure that you understand. And another very important concept here, watch the video multiple times. Make sure that you know the process. The more you watch, it will stick longer time in your brain. So the next thing we'll learn, between which two consecutive integer is the fraction 108/7. Two consecutive integer. That means you need to find two whole numbers that this 108/7 you can find. So what you could do, you could make this number into a mixed number. So that gives you 15 and 3/7. You know how to make the mixed number. You have to divide it, right? So 15 and 3/7. So if you write 15 and 16, so 15 and 3/7 is in between, right? So the next thing we'll learn how to find a fraction between 2 and 3/4. Yeah, you could write equivalent fraction for both of them and then find a number for that. So you could see here the equivalent fraction with the 2/3 equal to 16/24, and that case 18/24. So you could see 16 and 18, right? You could write 17/24. That is easy. Here a couple of practice problem. Make sure that you pause the video and try by yourself and make sure that you get this answer that I get in the video. The next thing we'll learn how to add mixed numbers. So if you want to make this mixed number into improper fraction, you have to do that first if you want to add them together. So what you could do here, 8 times, so what you need to do, you need to multiply 3 times 8 plus 5. So that gives you 3 times 8 is 24 plus 5 is 29 over 8, and then 5 times 12 is 60 plus 5 is 65 over 12. The next thing you have to do, you have to find the common denominator. So how you could find the common denominator 8 and 12? So if you write this all these multiples of 8 and 12, and you could find the common. So the common here is 24, right? So now what do you need to multiply 8 to get 24? Multiply that by 3 by 3 by 2 by 2. So that gives you 87 over 24 and 130 over 24. Now add them up. Whenever you add a fraction, make sure that you need to add only the top numbers, right? So that gives you 217 over 24. So if you make this mixed number into improper fraction, make sure that you get 9 and 1 over 24. There is another mixed number problem. So this time you have to subtract it. It is exactly the same way that you did the previous one. First, make this mixed number into improper fraction. So that gives you 3 times 5 is 15 plus 1 is 16 over 5. 3 times 2 is 6 plus 2 is 8 over 3. The common denominator between 3 and 5 is 15. So now what you need to multiply 5 to get 15 is 3. So then what you need to multiply 3 to get 15 is 5. So now you have 48 over 15, and 8 times 5 is 40 over 15, and if you subtract it, so that gives you this 8 over 15. So make sure that you understand that. So there is another one that is a multiple mixed number together. You could do 2 at a time, and then combine them, or you could do all in one shot. So what you could do first, as I mentioned before, you need to make always, if you have any kind of a fraction problem, any kind of mixed number problem, make sure that you make this mixed number into improper fraction first step. It doesn't matter you are doing addition, subtraction, multiplication, or division. You have to do exactly the same thing for making this mixed number into improper fraction. So if you make all this mixed number into improper fraction, that gives you 7 over 5, 33 over 10, 16 over 3 minus 4 over 15. Find the common denominator, which is 30. Follow the previous step that we did. So multiply with and make this equivalent fraction. You see this, all the equivalent fraction. That means the common denominator, right? Now add them up and then subtract. So that gives you 293 over 30. So improper fraction to mixed number again. That gives you 9 and 23 over 30. So make sure that you practice and learn this thing. So there is a couple of a practice problem. Pause the video and try by yourself. Make sure that you understand and you get this answer. If you did not get this answer, make sure that you review the previous example how to do it. Now we'll learn how to multiply fraction. So the same way, multiply means multiply top to top, bottom to bottom. But keep that in mind. For the multiplication, you don't need to find the common denominator. You just need to add multiply top to top, bottom to bottom, or you could cancel out. You could reduce this fraction, right? So in that case, you could see here 1 here is 1 here. So you could like simplify first, or you could just multiply top to top and then divide by the bottom. You should get the same answer. So this case we actually try to simplify that. If you simplify 5 divided by 5 1, 15 divided by 5 is 3. So as I mentioned before, if you are reducing or if you are simplifying or write equivalent fraction, if you could either multiplication or you have to divide. So in that case, you have to divide top and bottom by the same number. So that gives you 19 over 3. And if you make this 19 over 3 into a mixed number, so that gives you 6 and 1/3. There is another practice problem here. You could do here. So make this mixed number into improper fraction and then simplify and then multiply it. So that gives you 10. So there is a couple of practice here we'll do. So you try by yourself and make sure that you get this answer. If you get that, make sure that you're learning. So now we'll learn how to divide fraction. So this is same as a multiplication but a little bit different. So as I mentioned before, anytime you see a fraction, you need to make this mixed number into improper fraction first of all. So in that case, you see here I made this mixed number into improper fraction, but there is a rule you have to follow called KCF, Kentucky Chicken Fry. So that means keep change flips. You have to keep whatever you have in the left side, send the sign division into multiplication, and then you have to flip it. So you could see here. So I had here 11 over 2 times 1 over 22. So now if you simplify it or multiply top to top, bottom to bottom, you will get exactly the same number. So that gives you 1/2 times 1/2 equal to 1 over 4. Make sure that you learn it. Kentucky Chicken Fry, KCF, keep change flip. So there is another mixed number problems you have to divide. Follow the exactly same way and make sure that you get 3 over 4. It is exactly the same way you did it. So make sure that you write down every single steps in the video. It will really help you to prepare for your specialized high school admission test. So there is another practice problem. So you could see here, but let me just give you an example how to do it. So if you have like something a over b divided by c over d, right? So that means there is a fraction on the top, there is a fraction in the bottom. So what does it mean that actually? Actually it means is a over b divided by c over d. So you know the how to divide means keep change flip Kentucky Chicken Fry. So that is a over b divided by c over d. So follow the same way. So that is a over b times d over c. So that gives you ad over bc. So that is the way how to do it if you have a fraction like this. So we exactly did same thing in here. So what we did first, so you could see here on the top you have addition, bottom you have subtraction. So simplify that, subtraction and addition. So that gives you 6 over 7 over 1 over 6. Now follow the exactly same way, keep change flip, right? So we did keep change flip, that means keep whatever we have in here, change the sign division into multiplication and then flip it, and that finally give you the answer 7. So there are a couple of practice problem you try by yourself. Make sure that you get these two answer. So if you know how to do that, watch the previous example, it will help you, and then practice. There is another practice problem you try by yourself. So what you have to do first, you have to follow the rule called PEMDAS, right? PEMDAS, and for that case, so you have to add inside the parentheses first. Do the inside the parentheses, then do the multiplication, then division, and you should get this answer. Now here is a practice word problem. So you could try. So Louis has 4 pieces of copper wire as given below: 2/3, 4/5, 7 over 9, 5/6. So Louis need a 5-6 meter length of copper wire to complete a project. Which wire should he use the least length of leftovers? So what you could do exactly? So this is all fraction. So that means you need to compare the fraction. You could find the common denominator, then you could compare it. But there is another easy way you could do it. You could make this all the fraction turn into a decimal. That will be very easy for you to compare. So let's do that way. So you could see here we made all this the fraction into decimal. So that gives you 5 over 8 equal to 0.625, 2/3 0.667, 4 over 5 0.8, 7 over 9 gives you 0.778, and 5 over 6 gives you 0.833. So and 2/3 gives you 0.667. So now which one is nearest to less left over? So in that case, so that is actually 5/8 and to 0.667. So he should use 2/3 meter wire. So let's read the question, make sure that you understand. And another very important thing you need to always remember, read the question multiple times. Okay, so make sure that you fully understand. Don't look the fraction and number and try to do it addition, subtraction, whatever you like to. Make sure that you fully understand and build up this concept and try to build up the confidence that you understand the basic math. So this is another practice problem. So on Monday, the water was shut off for 3 times for 1/4 hours, 2/3 hours, and 2 3/4 hours. How long was the water off? So what do you have to do? You have to add them up. So we did here, make this mixed number into improper fraction, find the common denominator which is 12, add them up, and then turn into a mixed number that gives you 3 and 2/3. Pause the video and write down every single steps in the video and make sure that you understand. Here there is another practice problem you try by yourself. So if a baker wants to bake 5 and 1 of a recipe that needs 6 and 2/3 cups of flour, how many cups of flour will be needed in all? So what do you have to do here? So you have to multiply this fraction together. So as I said, read the question at least few times to make sure that you fully understand the problem. Just don't look the fraction and try to do whatever you like to do. Okay, so that is a big thing. So same way, make this mixed number into improper fraction, then multiply top to top, bottom to bottom, or you could simplify it. That gives you 110/3. Make this improper fraction into a mixed number, so that gives you 36 and 2/3 cups. So that is the final answer. There is another practice problem. So you could see here a car travels 36 3/4 of a mile in 2/3 of an hour. What is the average speed in miles per hour? So what you have to do, you learned a previous class that average speed equal to distance over time, right? So what you have to do, you have to divide the distance over time. So we did here, you could see here the way we did here, a over b divided by c over d. So follow the rule, keep, change, flip. So that exactly we did here, keep, change, flip, keep here, send the sign, then flip it. So when you multiply that, that gives you 4/1/8, and make this improper fraction into a mixed number. So that gives you 5 and 1/8 mile per hour. So there is another example here. So you could try by yourself to make sure that you get it. So on a design of an institute, 1/3 inch represent 30 feet. If the library is 120 feet long, what is its length in inch on the design? So what you could do here, 1/3 inch represent 30 feet, right? So if you divided that by 30, then you'll see how much represent in 1 feet. So that gives you 1/90. So 1/3 divided by 3 equal to 1/90 inch represent 1 feet. So if that is the case, what you have to do next, you have to multiply that by 120. So as I said, multiply top to top, bottom to bottom, or you could just reduce it actually. That gives you 4/3. If you make this 4/3 into a mixed number, so that gives you 1 and 3/4 inch represent 120 feet. Make sure that you understand. So here is couple of practice problem. You try by yourself, pause the video and make sure that you understand. Okay, just don't skip the thing, just make sure that you practice. If you practice those, it will really helpful for you. If you practice multiple times, it will really help you to understand this concept that will be helping for your specialized high school admission test. That is another practice problem. You try by yourself, make sure that you read the question first and then do the operation, and make sure that you get this answer. After you finish all of those, watch the video a couple of times, make sure that you took note, whatever you need to, and then download this application called SHSAT Test Prep and then practice lesson 2. It has all the homework and practice test. Okay, so do the homework at least a few times and take the practice test. Make sure that you get 80% or higher. So if you get 80% or higher, so that means you're confident you learn the materials.